I've been getting on my BNB and stacking these. Pairing it with EMP and then a middle P. How to get myself a bag before the bull run. How to take some Misha, stick it in the boardroom. I've been getting on my BNB and stacking these. Pairing it with EMP and then a middle P. How to get myself a bag before the bull run. How to take some Misha, stick it in the boardroom. E-pop got me waiting 3 more hours. Sticking all these years higher than a tower. Having all these nodes feel like superpowers. Investing all this bread, never been a coward. Call me Mr. Bond, money in the vault. I stay in the front, feeling like the goal. Don't worry about the haters, not the detonator. I'll kill in every market, call me Terminator. I've been getting on my BNB and stacking these. Pairing it with EMP and then a middle P. How to get myself a bag before the bull run. How to take some Misha, stick it in the boardroom. I've been getting on my BNB and stacking these. Pairing it with EMP and then a middle P. How to get myself a bag before the bull run. How to take some Misha, stick it in the boardroom.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to EMP.Money. My name is AJ, I am the team lead here, and we have a doozy of an AMA today. I see that on almost all of our AMAs, but this one is a few months in the making. We are finally able to reveal the first look at EMP Fusion. So, again, buckle up, sit back, get some EMP and ESHARE, not financial advice, before we reveal what's happening, but this is the very first high-level overview of EMP Fusion, which is the next step in our protocol's evolution. So, as always, I'm joined by my co-host with the most and fellow team member, LA. How are you? I think you're even more excited than me, which I don't know is even possible.
Oh my
God.
Yeah. Excitement levels are off the chart right now.
100%, no doubt. We are again, can't wait to share this with all of you, and we have a special guest with us as well, a guy by the name of Cody. Again, you guys maybe have heard me mention him a few times, but he has been instrumental in bringing Fusion to life. So, Cody, are you there as well, brother?
I sure am.
All right, my friend, good deal. So, again, just before we jump into this graphic, it may be a little difficult to see on YouTube, but we will be releasing this graphic after the AMA is over in all of our socials. Today, again, just to set the tone a little bit, this is a very, very high level overview. So please try not to get into, the 101 questions. We're going to have our own our complete white paper. We're going to have literally an AMA. Every single AMA for the foreseeable future will be about, different strategies, how this applies, and a lot more information in the meantime. This is just simply a single image that really gives a great overview of how EMP Fusion will function. The rest will be coming. And again, it will be given to you as soon as humanly possible. We just want to set that expectation for sure. So, and also realize again, we had kind of given a goal of getting Fusion out by the end of Q1. That's tomorrow. Obviously, that isn't going to be doable, but we are very, very close. And once we do give an exact hard date, we will meet that date no matter what. So we've never missed a deadline in the entire EMP history. So right now we're just, we're a lot farther along, honestly, than I thought we would be. Again, that initial goal is always lofty, but I mean, we're building out the front end now. All the contracts are done. We have to go through some vigorous testing. And then Fusion will be here. So now is the time to prepare, and to prepare based on what we're about to show. So without further ado, here we go, everybody. Let me go ahead and pull it up. Give me one moment, and then we're going to go line by line. Yes, drum roll. Thank you, Cody. Yeah.
That wasn't me.
Oh, LA. All right. Perfect. All right, here it is. All right, let me go ahead and pull it up on my screen as well. One moment. One moment here. Sorry, guys. Okay. All right, is it coming through on YouTube? Can you guys see the image before I start here? Yes, thumbs up. Yes. All right, I see a yes. All right, awesome. So all right, everybody, here it is. Well, the first thing you'll notice, before we even jump right in, is a new logo. So, part of this is also a rebrand, as well. You can see EMP Fusion. Again, the site that we have up now, a lot of it will be in Legacy tab. You know, the protocol is not changing. A lot of the contracts are staying. All the contracts are staying. It's just going to be a little bit different on how they interact with each other. So we're going to get more info on that at a later date. But just realize, we'll have a new website, new rebrand, the whole 9 yards. So that's a little surprise that we haven't even alluded to in anything. So EMP, that is our new branded logo, and the eShare and EMP logos themselves, the little circle logos, those will still be the same. But what we love the most is the tagline, and that's really what we're accomplishing with this rollout, and that is an infinite passive income loop. So a lot of you heard us say, an infinite money loop through our ecosystem, but this applies to how the protocol will now operate by removing a lot of human error and really providing, the infinite passive income loop that we all hope to achieve in life. We're able to actually make it happen through EMP Fusion. So, all right, before we get into the specific steps, Cody, was there anything you wanted to add before we go one by one here?
I've always wanted to say that I'm a longtime listener, first time caller, so I can honestly say that now.
No doubt, Cody. I love it. Yes. Yeah, Cody's been instrumental. Again, we've been working hand in hand for, it feels like years, but it's only been months. That's time flies when you're having fun,
Exactly.
especially in crypto. And yeah,
Exactly.
we're really excited for this. So, all right, here we go. The first step. So, you're gonna be get familiar with these new terms because we're gonna be using them a lot. So, step number one is the central grid. So the central grid, again, we're really playing off of the energy and electricity theme that we've already established with EMP. As you can see in the middle, the fusion reactor or fusion core driving all the profits. So there will be a lot of terminology that you will need to get familiar with. But central grid is essentially the entire uh, ecosystem as a whole. So that will be the central grid. And so what it is you're basically going to be depositing your EMP into a high yield APR single stake pool. That pool will pay you out in daily energy rewards at the same time every day. So again, it says it'll reset around the detonator epoch. We'll have a global time within the ecosystem, but just know that it'll be before and after an epoch, similar to how the boardroom worked in EMP or works in EMP when we are above peg. Only instead of multiple times a day, it will be one time a day. So, and then when that happens, rewards are dispersed to all the investors based on their individual share ownership of that pool. So the central grid is a giant pool, and depending on how much you deposit into, that represents your individual ownership, and that's what will determine your payout. So again, trying to keep it as simple as we can to start things off. So Cody, you want to go over that one more time? Maybe you can say it in a better way, but yeah.
No, I think you did a great job.
All right, awesome, man.
It for a lot of people, it's going to be very simplistic on the top. A lot of things are going to be what I like to call under the hood. So it's just like when you get into a car and you turn on that ignition, you know it's just going to work, hopefully, right? And it's going to turn over and it's going to get you from destination A to B, right? And so that's why we're just trying to keep things light on this AMA. But I have a feeling that we'll probably get invited back to try to drill down into some of these and answer a lot of your guys' questions in future AMAs. So
Absolutely, no doubt, Cody. So, and again, just to recap, that is kind of the overall goal here today. Not to get too much in the weeds, but give you an idea of why we're saying it's so important to be accumulating eShare and EMP, and really in any part of the ecosystem. Again, nobody will be left behind if you're in nodes or you're in bonds. Again, we're gonna have a whole nother. Again, I keep alluding to a big event that will happen between this and Fusion actually going live. So nobody will be left out in the dust, and we'll explain all that as we get closer. So that is, again, step one is just the central grid. Energy, and just so everybody knows, too, energy will be any liquid token. So energy rewards, and we'll get into this a little bit later, but there's only one way to get energy through the central grid and the microgrid, as well as one more thing that again will be what we end with is super bullish. So, all right, step number two. So you have the central grid. Well, the central grid is made up of a bunch of different microgrids, and a microgrid is essentially your ownership personally of the central grid. So this will be a unique NFT or wallet. Again, it'll function as a wallet, but it'll be an NFT. So a unique NFT wallet that collects your daily energy ROI and then distributes, stores, or sells it back to the central grid. So again, just to recap on that, this is how you're actually able to produce your income in Fusion. But and this is how, again, we said this in a lot of previous AMAs where we said we're basically eliminating the selling pressure on EMP because now it will be in a form of an NFT. So you can, potentially buy these or even sell these without ever hurting the protocol overall, which is amazing and really helps get rid of that human error that we also kept alluding to. So the microgrid is your new focus. Again, the idea is to get your microgrid as large as you possibly can because that will mean more rewards for you. So microgrids now provide investors, again, the ability to use EMP products to create their own unique strategies to build passive income streams, participate in new opportunities, and rapidly scale their overall investment seamlessly. So that's another really cool part of the microgrid is maybe you want to focus on compounding more than passive income in the very beginning to get your ownership up. Well, there would be ways to do that. Maybe you want to just focus on, a steady income every week or day or whatever that you can pull out. Well, you can do that as well. Maybe you want to get involved in a partner protocol or a pre-sale, and maybe you get a bit of a deal if you go through the microgrid rather than going to the public. So again, those are all examples of how you can specifically tailor your investment strategy to your liking. So again, really exciting stuff. Cody, you want to elaborate on the microgrid?
Oh, for sure, for sure. Being an investor in EMP from pretty much day one, I've been the guy that's been at the back of the classroom with his head kind of down, just with his ears open, right, listening and listening to the community of the wants and desires of what everybody's been kind of alluding that they would love to see within the protocol, and also seeing some things where we could improve some of the functions. And so when we designed the microgrid, we kept that in mind, and we made it so that it was such a unique opportunity that it almost creates a safe environment for investors to be able to test different strategies and know that they're being protected 100%, right? And so without going into too much detail there, it's great for not only newbies that are coming in that have never been in crypto to kind of learn how to create these passive income streams for themselves, but also for the veterans that have been mining Ethereum for years and years and know everything there is about crypto, and being able to optimize their passive incomes using unique different things from, like you mentioned, different NFTs and power ups and add-ons that you can do to these NFT kind of things, and really building up that microgrid. So it's a very unique thing that has never been seen on DeFi across any project as of yet. So not only is that bullish, but there is a lot of different things that we're going to be talking about here in just a second that are kind of fail safes and things like that to help you guys know that we're ultimately protecting your investment, but also giving you the opportunity to keep scaling and growing as well.
Absolutely, Cody. Great points, brother. And yeah, all of this is in hopes of, again, making this not only, quote unquote safer. Again, everything has risk, but you're not having to worry about somebody, dumping on your head, and again, not knowing how to play the ecosystem. A word that Cody uses a lot, it's a development word, is guardrails. There are a ton of guardrails built into EMP Fusion, and just like the real life guardrails that keep you from, driving off a cliff, that is the whole point of, what we built into EMP Fusion, that these guardrails make everything work a lot better, and at the end of the day, produce way more profit because we're all, rowing in the same direction. So, all right, number 3, step 3, the buyback and build. This is where things get really interesting. So, Fusion introduces a superior new mechanism into the EMP ecosystem. The primary goal of the microgrid is to keep building your share of the central grid. All unclaimed energy is used to purchase more EMP V2. Again, we're saying V2. We'll talk about that in a second, but and it's auto deposited for you to increase your existing balance. So again, let's back up for a second, and then I'll let Cody elaborate. But again, we are saying EMP V2, even though again that there's more to that later on after we in future AMAs, not today. It's not something that you have to really worry about at the moment. It's the way that EMP will function in, again, that high yield single staking pool. We just don't want to confuse people with the original EMP as well. But the whole idea is that a lot of you were really bummed about how Detonator operates, where you have to be around to claim or compound every day. Well, we really have taken this to a whole new level, very similarly on how the auto vaults work. So the way the auto vaults work is, they are taking your reward that you're getting and they're selling it for more EMP ETH LP, building your stake in the protocol. So it's essentially doing that same exact thing, only it will happen no matter what. Again, similar to the auto vault, where you just kind of set it and forget it. Now, there will be some things that you want to do to maximize your yield, and these are called batteries. So, again, some alpha. For those of you that are actually listening to the AMA, batteries will be a way to even increase your yield or, make it easier, multipliers, a lot of different things. So, anyway, Cody, you want to talk about how batteries will operate?
Well, since you pulled the curtain back on batteries, why not, right?
All right, brother. Perfect.
All right. So basically, there are multiple different types of NFT batteries that you can buy and utilize inside of your microgrid. And these are utility-driven NFT batteries. So I'll just give you another alpha as an example. So as your power is coming in, or your energy is coming in through the microgrid, the microgrid will automatically disperse that out to, let's just say you had a detonator depositor battery, right? And so the battery has a capacity on it. And once the battery reaches that capacity of being filled with energy, it will perform what's known as a power cycle. And that power cycle will basically take your energy, or ESHARE, basically go to the marketplace and buy EMP ETH LP and automatically deposit it into your detonator for you automatically. So that goes along with what AJ was just mentioning about it. You're not having to be around to basically deposit. There's a lot of things that are being automated there. So hopefully your wheels are starting to churn with the amount of creativity and where we could take all these batteries to go. And so there's basically batteries to deposit into the infinite passive income loop. And then there's batteries for you to basically cash out of the infinite passive income loop as well. So I'll just kind of leave it at there. Hopefully that's a good enough teaser for you, but it gets your wheels turning.
I love it, Cody. Yes, brother. Again, we're doing our best to not, give everything away. And again, this is like, everything that we talk about today is maybe, a 10% of what EMP Fusion will be overall. Again, this is just a high-level overview of what it works, but we're barely scratching the surface on the possibilities, and the batteries will be major in that. Again, allowing you to profit in the ecosystem in a much, much, more efficient way, and potentially having APRs go way, way higher than what we're used to now. So, and again, we'll talk about, well, let me get through the last step and then we'll talk about a little more higher level things. Go ahead. Yep, go ahead, Cody.
Yeah, let me add one more thing to that. So with the buyback and build mechanism, we want to make sure that the microgrid wants to ensure that you are utilizing and putting your energy to work for you 24/7, right? And so with that battery analogy that I just gave you, let's just say you were earning enough energy off of the central grid to not only fill that battery and earn a deposit or cash out, whatever you're trying to do, whatever's left over, it's not just going to sit in your central grid. That's where it'll go, and it will send the excess over to the marketplace, sell it, and then it will buy more EMP to stick it back into your central grid ownership stake. That way you are constantly growing. And so there's going to be a lot of strategy in terms of how many batteries you're going to be using at one given time, or are you going to have too little or too much energy to fill those batteries? So again, not a lot of depth there, but hopefully that kind of gets your wheels turning of what we're kind of building there as well.
Yep, absolutely. And again, I know everybody wants to ask questions now. Feel free to type them. It doesn't mean that we're going to get to them. This is just a really high level overview. But yes, the best way I can really give an analogy to everything Cody just said was, again, the auto vaults. If you've been any of the Beefy or the Magic or the Yield Wolf auto vaults, where you're getting your reward token, you're then selling that reward token for more EMP ETH LP. In the case now, that will just mean more ownership in the central grid, and that's also major buy pressure on EMP every single day, which we've been saying it all along. It's not if we recover peg, it's when we recover peg, and all of these things are building on top of each other in a very, very synergistic way, to literally have a win-win. It's very difficult in crypto to have a win-win, but I think that we have really solved that. So that everybody can win, getting here. So, all right, the last part, and then again, I'll talk a little bit more high level, and then we can maybe answer a few questions. we'll see what we can and can't reveal. But all right, so step number 4 is the EMP Marketplace. So again, this is super bullish. In Fusion, all transactions happen in the marketplace. Here, investors will use their earned or purchased energy to buy NFTs for their microgrids, exchange for stablecoins, or deposit into the DOS products. Likewise, places now allow investors to sell their unwanted EMP ecosystem items. The EMP Marketplace will only accept energy as a payment form. So, if some of you may have noticed, and Cody said it in the last step, but eShare is nowhere to be found on this graphic. Well, guess what? I'm sorry, man, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Energy is now eShare. So eShare becomes the transactionary token of our ecosystem, which is going to put a massive amount of use case on eShare. And again, eShare has a very low circulating supply, so that would be, the more demand, less supply. That typically means the price goes up. So eShare again is energy, vice versa. They will be kind of interchangeable. Energy will still be the illiquid token of Fusion, but you can again buy energy with your eShare. And to my point earlier, the eShare rewards, all of our emissions are now protocol owned. So we are able to determine, how much eShare or EMP is let out into the ecosystem, and that will be instrumental in not only providing profit to Fusion, but also protecting the price of EMP and eShare as well. So really exciting stuff here, and there's a lot to unpack in this last step. So let me start over again, and then Cody, I'll let you elaborate as well. But the first thing is in the title of step number 4, EMP Marketplace. So EMP Fusion will be an actual NFT marketplace. So we are going to be running all of our transactions through this marketplace. Not only is that amazing for having one centralized location for all of our assets, again, detonator defenders, sentinel squadrons, all of the above, but we're actually able to profit through our marketplace, and other protocols could potentially, use our marketplace. So we will be again one of the what we feel will be one of the highest volume NFT marketplaces on Binance Smart Chain. So we're really excited to roll that out, and that is an income stream to EMP Fusion as well. So again, that's really exciting. And so not only are you able to earn your energy through your microgrid, but then you can spend it on these again NFTs that could be anything. So not only are you getting exposure to Ethereum, but maybe we have a Bitcoin item you can buy, or a stable token item NFT that you can cash out. So really, you choose what you want to be able to take profit in within the ecosystem. Again, obviously, we'll have ETH, we'll have more, other ways to your heart's desire on what you want to take as rewards through the ecosystem. So, all right, go ahead, Cody. Anything you want to add to that? And then we can talk a little more high level.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the EMP Fusion hoodie I can buy through the merchant marketplace.
I love it. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, clothing. Again, partner protocol. Pre-sales. Again, that'll drop some alpha. You guys will get it out of me eventually. Think about being able to buy Splinterlands packs through our ecosystem. Again, that is not EVM compatible at the moment, but a lot of we're working with L1X. Maybe that is a future functionality that we're able to actually, talk to the Hive blockchain as well. So the possibilities are endless with this, and it just shows the potential that EMP Fusion has. So yeah, absolutely. All of the above, Cody, right? Yeah.
Yep, exactly. That's what this was designed to do.
Amazing, brother. So there is your 1, 2, 3, 4 step process of how EMP will function. I'm sorry, EMP Fusion will function at a high level overview. Cody, anything else you want to add before we look at maybe a few questions we may be able to answer or not? And then let me also go through my notes as well. Give me one moment as I pull that out. But go ahead,
Yeah.
Cody, or LA. LA has been instrumental as well in all the meetings. If there's something we didn't talk about, LA, please feel free to elaborate as well. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let me just add this real quick for everybody that's listening, because I think this is a vital and important thing to note with Fusion. What they're viewing right here is basically the foundation for the EMP ecosystem. And then from there, the world's really our oyster of like where we want to take this, right? And because we've built in all of these unique and scalable functions, everything works cohesively together. And that's the way that it's designed to do it, so that there's no individual silo products that are out there. All of these can be used together in the microgrid to unify and unite everything to create a very strong passive income that not only goes up and up and up, but it over time, it's something that's not going to be just a 365x on your initial deposit. This is a lot longer, stable, sustainable type of ecosystem that we've just created and are unveiling.
Absolutely, brother. And that is the core, of again, what we've been building for months now, really trying to solve literally every single issue that or potential issue even, that we've encountered, becoming one of the successful, most successful, if not the most successful, tomb fork protocols out there. And this is the next phase in our evolution, We move away from that uncontrolled inflation. The last year was almost a giant, bootstrapping event, and now we become even more powerful while still, staying true to everything that we said we would do from the beginning. I mean, this is going to be the #1 passive income platform with exposure to ETH. And again, by getting EMP back to peg, you're going to see an amazing, stability in that peg, which really makes EMP again, a fractionalized Ethereum, and that is, what we set out for. But now, even if you're not an ETH maxi, by getting an infusion, you could choose your form of payment. So again, that was well, let's just go through the questions so we don't forget any. I think we can answer a few of these from what I've seen so far. But before we do though, LA, was there any other
Yeah.
bullish things that we maybe glossed over that you're excited about, or
Yeah.
anything else you want to elaborate on? Go ahead.
There is a few things I was hoping to say, just as I was listening to you guys do an amazing job of covering all of that. I just want to kind of take it back to its studs a little bit and just say, I know that some of you listening might have been hearing all of that and thinking, like, holy crap, there's just so much involved in this. I'm already confused. There's just so much I'm going to have to learn. But I just want to say, yes, there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve. There's going to be a few new things to incorporate and learn when it first launches. But that being said, this whole system is designed for it actually to be a lot more simple and easy for you on a daily basis. So yes, you are going to have to learn a little bit about how it functions at the very beginning, just like you would if we launched a new product of any type to add on to our system. There's going to be a little bit of a learning curve, but we are going to do these AMAs and go over it and over it and over it and over it to make sure that you feel completely comfortable, that you know how everything works. We're going to be available to answer questions. You're going to have AMAs. You're going to have it in written format. You're going to have the white paper. We may even try to, do a little bit of an intro video on it. You'll have all the tools you need to understand how it all functions. And it really will not be as confusing as it seems when you see it all laid out for you on the actual UI. So if
Totally.
you feel overwhelmed at all tonight, just know that that learning curve will pass very quickly. What you especially need to know for tonight is a few things. This protocol, this new version of the protocol, the final form, is designed for all of us long-term thinkers who have been doing everything right for all these months, but get let down by short-term thinkers who make rash decisions and do things that let us all down. And that doesn't play a factor anymore. Fusion eliminates human error and the potential for short-term thinkers to ruin the game for everyone else. So this is incredible. And we've been saying for months that it's going to be important for you to prepare by having EMP and ESHARE. And now you understand why, because the EMP is going to be involved in that high yielding EMP pool. And the ESHARE is going to be the currency of the protocol. So now you know exactly why we've been saying what we've been saying. So if you didn't take our, non-financial advice for the last few weeks, now is a great opportunity because you have the why, whereas you didn't have that piece of the puzzle until today. So
I love it.
that's my sense.
Yeah, no,
Yep.
Elliot, that was great. Again, I know Cody and I just started going at it right off the bat, but yeah, we were in the groove. Yes, to bring it back, and it's about what I've said all along. Like, we've done such a great job with education at EMP, and that's why one of the many different reasons that we've had such great success. But at the end of the day, EMP Fusion is meant to be so self-explanatory that there is no need for an academy. Anybody can kind of learn it, just like they learn their favorite game to play. We're really bringing that gamification element to earning. And again, it's going to be much, much more intuitive than typically what all of you are used to. And this will all be made way more apparent when the new website is up. Everything is, again, the UI is there, the tooltips are there. It'll all be right in front of your face. So yeah, go ahead, Cody. Did you want to add to? Sorry.
Yeah, no. I love how you brought up that it's just like learning a new game. There is so much gamification and game theory that we've put into the design of it. And so the part I love is that we're getting rid of the Tomb Fork Prisoner Dilemma game that it plays, and we're actually moving more towards co-op type of games, with the pool, where we're all working as a team to build that as high as we can so that we all profit from higher APRs and yields and things like that, all the way down to being able to play an individual game as well within the microgrid. I mean, that speaks volumes to what kind of game theory is designed into this than just one, like I mentioned, the prisoner's dilemma that is most of the DeFi Tomb Fork projects out there.
I love it. Absolutely. Again, that's been a major, again, those of you that don't know what the prisoner's dilemma is, look that up. Again, we could spend an hour talking about that as well. But yeah, that's been a major thing. Even when we started, EMP, that was one thing that we always had in mind of trying to overcome as the protocol grew. And so, again, EMP Fusion just solves all those issues. And to Cody's point, maybe you want to play it a little more co-op. Maybe you want to be, just an individual, do your own thing and just, not have to work together. That's all possible. And again, it doesn't mean one way is the right way or the wrong way. There'll be tons of different strategies for people. And at the end of the day, it'll be based on what you want to get out of it. Maybe you want to build up your share as high as you possibly can and then start taking profits. Maybe you want to start taking profits immediately. You're able to do anything you want, and all of those decisions do not negatively impact the protocol or other investors, or anybody else, the way typical tomb forks operate. Again, worrying about somebody dumping peg every time you try to get it back to where it needs to be. So, and again, there's one more big thing in between that we're not going to really talk about today, but that will be even more of a reason why peg is not if, but when as well. So, all right. Anything else you guys want to add, or LA? If not, Cody, if you don't have anything else, can we go through some questions? And then if it's something I can't answer, I'll just say, unfortunately, we can't answer it. But I do see some that we can. So, LA, do you just want to read them out to Cody and I? Or, yeah.
Alrighty. Was there ones in particular that you
Yeah,
were
I
gravitating
see. So I
towards?
see. How much are batteries? That's not something that we can answer at the moment. But again, even if you don't buy any batteries, it's not gatekeeping you from earning. Batteries will just be a way to either multiply your earnings or take profit out of the ecosystem, or increase your capacity on again those power cycles that Cody mentioned. There'll be, and again, we're gonna have a whole white paper on all this, but batteries just make things, I wouldn't, in other words, I wouldn't be worried about not being able to afford a battery and then not being able to earn, because it doesn't really work like that. So, Cody, you just want to elaborate on
You'd be
that, or?
yeah, you would be surprised at how value driven they are.
Totally.
So yeah, the main goal is that we want to be able to provide a lot of utility, and so there's going to be kind of imagine batteries as almost kind of like a mini game that you get to play individually, right? Something that you get to be in 100% control of, how it operates, the capacities, things like that. So I'll just leave it at that.
Perfect. Yes, brother. I love it. So, all right, we're on the same page, man. All right. Can you sell your energy? So again, energy and eShare are going to be pretty much synonymous. Now, energy will be illiquid, meaning there will not be a BEP20 token called energy. However, you redeem your energy for actual crypto, or an NFT that you might want, or anything in our marketplace. You will be able to use energy to buy it. And so, no, you can't sell energy, but that doesn't mean you can't profit from energy. And then eShare, again, eShare will be a way to buy energy rather than earning it through the central grid or your microgrid. Or, maybe you're able to get a multiplier on your energy by using eShare to, again, buy it or DCA in. So again, energy and eShare are still two separate things, but the overall goal of what they accomplish are very similar. And again, having use case and utility, eShare becoming the only token, that can do that is super powerful. So,
And I think you hit it right on the. Oh, sorry.
yeah.
I think you hit it right on the head there with transactions. If as soon as people start realizing the amount of transactions that are going to be happening, and eShare being the main driver behind that, it is going to be off the charts in terms of utility.
Absolutely, Cody. I love it.
Good point.
Yeah, again, we're trying not to FOMO too hard here, but yeah, and again, that also, and I'll talk about this at the very end, on how the DEX plays in. Well, I guess let me just go over it now before I forget. So all of this that we just talked about for the last 45 minutes, that doesn't even include the revenue streams that we are already producing. So literally, we will be injecting fresh capital through all of our revenue streams, eventually the DEX as well, directly into the central grid. So now, we're not reliant on new users to drive the passive income. we're simply reliant on the volume that EMP Fusion is able to do, not only through the marketplace, but all of our revenue streams. So this literally eliminates, any form of Ponzonomics. EMP itself was never really Ponzonomic anyway, but this is real revenue, which again, a lot of protocols have yet, even the best DeFi protocols, they're not operating on real revenue, and so EMP Fusion will be absolutely 100% real revenue driven. And again, that is so bullish because all those rewards are then, spit back out in a much more efficient way through, again, building up your ownership of the central grid. So, awesome stuff. All right. What other questions were there? Okay. Yeah.
I
Okay.
found one that went really well with what you guys had just been talking about, which was just as someone who was just a little bit more confused about the energy and eShare. So eShare is just used to buy energy, or will we be swapping eShare for energy like we did from eShare V1 to eShare V2? So if you could clarify that for Sir Proudballs.
Yes. No problem. No problem. Balls. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, my inner 10-year-old is coming out. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, there will be not there is not going to be another migration. So it won't be again another swap like we did with eShare a few weeks ago or a month ago now. So no, the whole idea is that again, eShare will be convertible or purchasable. I'm sorry, energy will be purchasable with eShare. So and again, maybe you just want to earn your energy. You can do that too, again, by going through that single staking pool that essentially establishes your microgrid. So again, it's up to you. Maybe you want to be get ahead of the game a little bit. You can buy some eShare and again multiply your earnings by having more energy, or maybe you just want to get in and let it accumulate passively over time. Yeah, there's many different ways to play it. So, Cody, do you want to add to that, or I think that answered the question.
Yeah, I think you nailed it.
Okay. And again, a lot of this will be more apparent. We've literally gone through everything with a fine-tooth comb. We're just being very, very cautious on what information we release in a certain manner. And again, a roadmap, for lack of a better word, because there are some things that we don't want to get the cart before the horse or put things out of order because it could potentially open up some min-maxing or not exploits, but a way for people to get ahead unfairly. So we're just trying to make this a very smooth process as we go. We're not purposely not answering questions because we don't know the answers. We have to be very careful on what we say or don't say over the next few weeks. But
For sure.
yeah,
I'm going to answer this one and just answer it with one word, if that's okay. Will we have to break up our accumulated EMP ETH LP? No.
perfect. Yes, absolutely not. So
Amen, sister.
yeah. All right, awesome. What do we see? Well, SS and DD, so Sentinel Squadron and Detonator Defender NFTs continue to work as if they are right now. So again, that's one. Just stay tuned for that one because again, there's some really bullish information about how the Detonator style contracts play into Fusion, but unfortunately, we're just not able to release that quite yet.
So bullish.
Yeah.
And there are some very specific questions about each part of the protocol and how they'll be incorporated. And we're not necessarily going to answer those questions tonight, but just keep in mind that we have a plan for every part of the protocol, and we will be revealing all of that when we get closer to this big event that we've been alluding to.
Absolutely. And that plays into one of the last questions perfectly. What will happen with our current nodes if there isn't EMP v2? So again, in the term of having a V2 that you all might be used to, like we did with ESHARE, where we had to actually migrate it, that is not what we're talking about. This is simply just a way to delineate, between EMP that is functioning now and how EMP will function in Fusion. So again, please don't get that misconstrued. We're not leaving anybody out in the cold. You don't have to go through a whole nother, migration process. It'll all be much more clear in the next few, again, hopefully sooner than later. I mean, we're just, if we can announce the next big thing, this next big event next week, I mean, I would love to, but again, there's just some things that we have to have in place before we let the cat out of the bag, so to speak. But everything you need to know is right here in this image. I mean, again, as long as you're accumulating EMP, ETH/LP, or any part of the protocol, you're going to be set for the future, and eShare as well. So not
Oh, and
financial
I don't know
advice.
if we mentioned this, but we will be posting this image after the AMA.
Yes, 100%. I know a lot of you might be having a hard time seeing it. And we do need to make a few little edits again. In the first step, it says around the detonator epoch. There will be an epoch schedule, but it'll just be a global time. Don't get confused by the word detonator. It may be the detonator time, but we'll pick a global time for the ecosystem that the epoch will roll over on. But again, unlike things are now, it doesn't really matter because it's going to be auto compounded for you anyway. So you don't have to worry about, getting into Fusion and then having to do an action every single day. So uh, again, right, Cody? I don't know if I said
Auto
too much, but
compounding.
yeah, exactly.
Auto compounding, so bullish.
Yeah, again, everything you guys have been asking for, we have listened and we have built into this, you know, to make it as powerful as it can be. So, um,
Do you remember how a few years ago Staples had that easy button? Do you
yeah,
remember that?
Yeah.
totally, absolutely,
That's how EMP is going to be in the future, folks.
yes, I love it. Yes, EMP Fusion is the easy button to EMP, so I love it. Yeah, yeah,
You guys are going to enjoy hearing more from Cody so much. Like, he is the definition of like the beautiful mind. Like, the way his mind works is so fascinating.
Aw, thanks, LA. I'm blushing behind here if you could see me.
He gives these 50-page PowerPoints that will just blow you away.
totally.
Hey,
That's
I've
really
been
what.
sitting on this for 6 months ready to explode. I'm glad we're finally doing it.
Yeah, no doubt, Cody. That's really what took us this long, was just deciphering those 50-page PowerPoints. Oh man, no, yeah, Cody, again, I know I said that in a lot of AMAs. The original white paper for Fusion was literally like 48 pages. So, we need to get things a little more simplified to all of you. And Cody said at the very beginning of this AMA about what's under the hood. So again, there is a ton of complex interactions that are happening within EMP Fusion, again, to not only generate yield, but to protect the price, to control liquidity. Everything that you would want to have happen in a protocol is happening under the hood or behind the scenes. But for you as the participant, you don't really need to be bothered with all that. And that's not because we're trying to have a smoke and mirror show. Anybody that can read code can see what happens behind the scene, and we'll be very transparent about that. But the whole idea is that we want to make it fun and easy to participate. You don't need a finance degree to be into, EMP Fusion or earn passive income. So that is all the boxes that we're checking when it comes to what EMP Fusion is and will be.
I, I love it because somebody says they want to see the 40 pages, so I'll just tell them when the Netflix documentary comes out, you can see it then.
I love it. Let's hope so. One day, right? Never say never. Yeah. So awesome.
Do we
Well,
have Aaron in the house? Did you want to unmute yourself?
Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing?
Aaron, what's up, brother? Are you excited for Fusion, my friend?
Good, man.
Awesome,
Hell
bro.
yeah. So, let me get this, make sure I got this right. So, the energy, we can sort of like mint it like Zen and just earn it. Is that about right?
Yeah, so let me back up a little bit. So you're not actually gonna mint it like Zen. It'll be a totally different process than that. So the short answer on that is no. The best thing I can kind of give comparison is like an auto vault. So you put EMP ETH LP in an auto vault. It takes the eShare emissions, it sells them, and then actually gives you more EMP ETH LP. So think of that same transaction. Again, now EMP and eShare emissions will become protocol owned. Um, so we're able to, again, determine how much EMP or eShare we sell or release onto the market. And so by doing that, you're able to earn energy through that process. So again, your ownership of the central grid is determined by the microgrid, which is essentially your wallet. And then that is on a daily basis that will accumulate actual energy through all the mechanisms I just said behind the scenes on a daily basis. So, if you have a higher ownership of the protocol, you'll earn much more energy every day than if you have a lower percentage ownership of the protocol. So does that help, Aaron? I don't know. Hopefully I didn't confuse you more, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Right. Okay. So is it kind of like,
Like
right, I got
how
it.
you
So it's
earn
like
eShare
the
today.
more hex you stake, yeah.
Yeah, so okay. Yeah, if you want to compare to hex, so yeah, say the more hex or the more hex that you would stake, the more emissions that you get. So yeah, that mechanism is very similar. And just like you earn eShare today, and except it won't be an LP farm, it'll just be the microgrid. So again, consider your microgrid, your ownership of the protocol, similar to the LP farm, and you're instead of rewarded in liquid eShare, you're rewarded in energy. But again, you can easily sell that energy for any asset that you want. So I don't want people to get the impression that we're cutting off, the revenue aspect. The idea is that we actually give you more options to take profit because maybe you don't want to have profit in eShare. Maybe you want profit in ETH or stable token or Bitcoin or whatever you want. That will be an option in the marketplace.
And to go along with that, the crazy part about this is that you could literally claim all of your daily rewards and cash out without affecting the whole ecosystem.
Totally. Totally. And that is again is one of the major reasons why we're going to protocol owned emissions. And so again, you get diluted if you do that. Again, other people that get a larger portion of ownership of the central grid, they're going to outpace you. But by all means, you could literally claim every single day and sell every single day and not affect peg. And yeah, totally.
And that
Totally.
kind of
Wow. Wow. Really cool.
Awesome, Aaron. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, LA.
I was going to say that plays into a question we have on YouTube, and it says, how much EMP will we need to deposit to earn energy starting out? And so there's no set amount that you need, but the more EMP that you have, the larger percent of ownership of the pool you're going to have, which means that you're going to have a larger percentage of those emissions.
Correct.
Correct.
And AJ brought up a good point. If you're claiming every single day and then people are using these multiplier batteries or things like that to exponentially grow their return and to redeposit back into their thing, they're gonna bypass you. That's why if a whale came in and decided like they wanted to buy all of the available EMP that's out on the open market today, which would be awesome. But in the same sense too, is if they just deposited it and just was withdrawing it every single day, it gives the little guy that only puts in $100. Yeah, it'll take him a long time to do it, but theoretically he could pass the leader.
Totally.
Right. So.
Totally. Yep. And again, that plays into the game theory of what this will be. And, you know, at the end of the day, no matter how you play it, the APR should be, if not the same, which again, conservatively, but should be much, much higher than it is today. Just again, just based on the APR we're still able to pay with the old system, this new system will be even more powerful. And you know, we could easily see, you know, again, I'm not going to say numbers because then they're going to say, you people say, oh, well, you said in the AMA, blah, blah, blah. But just know that the earning potential is way, way higher, again, because the ecosystem will be functioning on all cylinders. And I did see one question that we glossed over a little bit. I think we can answer this. I'll be very vague. Cody, yell at me if I say it wrong. But somebody asked, what happens to the boardroom? Well, again, EMP Fusion is the boardroom. This is the new boardroom. Again, the way it operates under the hood is very similar to how the boardroom works now, as a lot of you might be used to. So when we get back to PEG, you know, it's healthy to sell a little bit over PEG EMP to keep that parity or that ratio. So that will be pure profit for EMP Fusion, you know, as we get higher and higher above PEG. So yeah, that is how it will work. But now instead of relying on, you know, potential bad actors that are in the boardroom just to dump on all of our heads, you know, they don't have to do that anymore. And or we don't they don't have the ability to do that. It's protocol owned emissions, so we're able to curb all of that. And you know, just to give an example as well, Dex Finance. This is exactly how Dex Finance works in terms of how, you know, the boardroom mechanism is. EMP Fusion is way more gamified, and again, I love Dex Finance. I would never say that we're better, but we are different from how they again have implemented their protocol-owned emissions. But overall, the same concept in terms of how the boardroom operates is exactly the same as how, you know, Dex Finance is able to do it. And you know, they've never lost peg ever. I mean, well, I guess for 2 hours one time they had a whale dump and they recovered immediately after that. So did I say too much, Cody? I don't know, man. The community, they always get the alpha out of me. So yeah,
No, I'm actually going to add to that as well.
please.
In my opinion, being in the DeFi space for quite a while now, you know, it's kind of interesting how a lot of other projects rely on the boardroom, right? And in my opinion, you nailed it right on the nose. Fusion is the new evolved boardroom, right? That's why we've kind of come out with the name Fusion, is because it's all about evolving EMP into the next phase, into the evolution, right? And so it's the next generation, and it's almost like having, lack of better words, AI kind of technology that's built into this kind of protocol that's smarter, more intelligent, and capable of handling a lot more. Without having investors dump on our heads, like you said a minute ago, right?
100%.
Because there's those guardrails that are put into place that'll eliminate the dumping, that'll eliminate the bad actors. And if they want to be a bad actor, and if they just want to totally just deposit and just cash out, it'll cater to those people as well.
Yes, exactly. Again, that's why, you know, you could tell in our voices, I'm sure, over the last multiple AMAs on how whenever we bring up EMP Fusion, LA and I, we get pretty giddy. Bull, again, he was giddy as well, and still is. I mean, all of us are, about how this is coming together. And, you know, again, it's because we know all the pitfalls that we've seen in other protocols that not even Tomb Forks, just DeFi in general, and we've been able to literally address all of that. And once this is up and running, again, I think the word is going to spread really quick, and by then we may already be halfway or fully recovered in peg. And which is fine. That's awesome. But those of you that are listening now, you have even more upside potential um, than those people. And again, with this very much more simplified approach, we're going to be doing a whole nother marketing campaign around EMP Fusion that will explain all of this once we're ready to finally go live with it. But again, all of you are still really early. So, being part of the ecosystem now will have major benefits in the future as well because we are below peg at the moment. And rightly so. I mean, again, everything in our ecosystem, I call it poetic justice because the people that have dumped the bottom and exited, they don't get an opportunity to be involved in Fusion. And those of you that have believed in us and say, I don't know what they're building, but they're building something, and I put our faith behind EMP and eventually recovering peg. Those are the people that should be rewarded the most. And again, the bonding mechanism was meant to solve that in the original Tomb Fork or Tomb finance models, but bonds just are not powerful enough to recover a protocol on its own. So this is the next evolution and all that. And all of you that bought bonds will get again included in this as well. And there is this big event we keep alluding to that those of you buying EMP now bonds again up EMP. I saw another question about up EMP. Listen, everybody, no matter what part of the ecosystem, if it takes EMP to buy it, or if EMP is involved in it, that is the same thing that we're all discussing. So again, EMP and ESHARE is the focus, and that is any part of our ecosystem as well. It's up to you on what you want to speculate on. If you're going to up EMP, you just got to be in up EMP long enough to outweigh the taxes. But maybe you make much more. The volume on up EMP has been killer, so maybe you make even more by going into up EMP than into just LP. So it's completely up to you. We're not here to tell you what to do. But anybody buying EMP off the market will be getting at what we feel is the best price we're going to see in a very, very long time. So, all right. Again,
I said this on other AMAs, but I'll say it again just so you can't say I didn't say it. The lower the price you get in at, the more of an upside potential you're going to experience.
Totally. Absolutely. So,
Bright Outlook asked a really good question. I don't know if you're able to answer it. Will EMP and or ESHARE be inflationary in Fusion?
Yeah, so this is a great question. So again, both tokens are still technically inflationary, especially EMP when we're over peg, and eShare is also inflationary. But both of them have major mechanisms that will curb that. Again, the plan on EMP is to make it deflationary no matter what. Again, there's some really cool things we're working on. Some I can't, again, well, I can't really talk about. But yeah, the short answer
Oh
is,
man.
I know, Cody, I know. I wish I could drop even all the alpha right now. But yeah, the short answer is both are still technically inflationary. But once we recover peg, EMP will be deflationary. And even now, I mean, when we're below peg, EMP is deflationary. Once we get above peg, the idea is that we're not going to be that far above peg, that we maintain literally. A lot of other protocols call it a liquidity management system. Again, Horde, they called it their LMS. They did that all through code that was very manipulated. we are going to be able to maintain a peg just simply through the the functionality of Fusion. And so again, not to give away too much, but we have a much better system. So the whole idea is that EMP doesn't need to be inflationary unless the protocol blows up with so many new users that we have to emit more EMP. And if we did do that, then that is a win-win for everybody because that means we have a ton new capital. We have, ETH could be over 4 grand. I mean, that would be a really good problem to have. And so, and then eShare is inflationary, but remember the whole reason that we moved to eShare version 2 was to implement the halvening model. So again, every year after this year, the emissions on eShare halves. So just like Bitcoin, there is a yearly halvening where right now we emit about 28,000 eShare. Next year we're only going to be emitting 14,000 eShare, and then the following year is only 7,000 eShare. So as time goes on, there's much less eShare in circulation, and again because of that halvening, that usually has a great impact on price as well. So and again, I mean there will be burn mechanisms on EMP and eShare along the way for sure. So great question, Brand Outlook. Hopefully that answered that. So all right, we're over an hour now on EMP Fusion. Cody, was there any final words you want to give before me and LA wrap it up here with a few more announcements? But I think people are excited so far.
Yeah, I'm just reading through the comments both on Telegram and on EMP or on the YouTube channel, and I think people are getting it. Like they're starting to raise a lot of questions and answer their own questions, and a lot of people are catching on to where we're going. So I think that's a good sign. So I'm just going to be curious to see. We've got about 60 people watching it as of right now on YouTube and about 36 in Telegram. I'm wondering what next week's first of the week's AMA going to be volume wise in terms of people tuning in.
Yep, I would imagine hopefully more as word spreads about what we're doing. Again, with Fusion, this is an exciting time. I mean, and again, please, if you're watching the YouTube video, we'd love to hear, your first impressions. Leave us a comment. Maybe you have some concerns. We'd love to hear those too. But again, I think that we have really built a much better mousetrap. Cody, I second what LA said 100%. Cody has one of the most brilliant minds I've ever, had the privilege of getting to explore. I know that sounds, maybe a little provocative, but yeah, Cody's mind is unlike anything else. And again, we can maybe do a deep dive on how Cody, came to EMP, and we'll do that after EMP Fusion is live as a celebratory event. But Cody is an amazing person, and we've done this hand in hand. EMP Fusion is Cody's baby, but all of us, the entire team, are new developers that have been bringing EMP Fusion to life. All of us have had a little, brick in EMP Fusion coming to life, and we're just really excited for what the future holds for sure. So, Cody, you're the man, brother. Appreciate all your hard work.
Hey, thanks for the love. Appreciate it.
Awesome, brother. All right. Right on. So we will have Cody back for multiple AMAs coming up as we roll this all out. You'll be getting to know him very, very well. So, all right, LA. I guess you want to go over. We're about an hour and 15 minutes, but you want to go over.
Do you mind if I hold us up for 5 more minutes?
Yeah, please. Go ahead.
One more person on the spot.
No, please do.
Joe, I'm dying to know your thoughts and what you think and how you plan to prepare.
Is he there? Oh, there he is. Joe.
Yeah.
What's up, brother?
She's becoming more like you every day.
Isn't she?
Keeping alpha
putting
you
people
know,
on the spot.
little drips at a time, and then putting people on the spot, right? It's all
Yeah,
good.
totally.
No, I'm excited. This has been long awaited, and I mean we are like right here. And yeah, Cody, I had the pleasure of speaking to him a couple times one on one. He's amazing at his vision and everything, and just really, yeah, how he puts it all together is really cool. So I am super excited for all this. Um, you know, it's been a long journey. I've been here since February, almost since when you launched, and it's just amazing to see how everything unfolds and just going through the roller coaster rides of the market. And yeah, you're right. You know, the people who you kept saying the same thing. You haven't changed your tune from day one, which is you're going to do everything you can to make this the best protocol possible. And I think people are finally seeing that. So those that stuck it out, I think they're going to really see everything come together. And yeah, I'm just excited. I will definitely be doing some deep dives when everything is out, figuring out some good strategies, and more than happy to share it with my EMP family, and excited that we're here on the journey. So appreciate everything, AJ,
Right
in
on,
LA,
Joe.
and the rest of the
Yeah,
team.
yeah, brother. Thank you, man. I know again, LA is learning to put you on the spot just like I would. But yeah, you know, you've been one of our amazing members. Again, part of our army, and you know, a lot of EMP Fusion is the news to our VIPs and our our army members, and we did that somewhat on purpose as well. Just knowing that that no matter what the rollout is, those of you that have been accumulating anyway are already set up perfectly. And that was, again, a major part of the whole process was we wanted to make it to where everything that is good for the protocol is rewarded without the human element. And that was, the driving force behind EMP Fusion. So all of you that are Army members and VIP members or good actors, again, I'm trying to get away from that term, but savvy investors, all of you are going to be celebrating today when you see, again, this EMP Fusion roadmap and rollout because it protects all of you that have been doing the right thing for the protocol. And, those that want to swing trade EMP or, just dump emissions from the boardroom, that will no longer be possible. And so when we recover PEG, not if we recover PEG, all of these mechanisms will be in place and ready to roll. So we're super excited for all that. So all right, awesome. LA, we're gonna go over L1X. Was there
Yeah.
anything else before we get to that? Go ahead.
No, I think we're good.
All right, let me go ahead and pull.
What an exciting day it's been. Holy crap.
Big time. And again, I know Peg and eShare already seem to be responding as well. So again,
Big
not financial advice and no expectation of profit from the work of others. I do just want to say we're not managing anybody's funds with EMP Fusion. Again, all of it is done decentralized and trustlessly. Again, it's all Solidity-based smart contracts that perform these functions. So again, there is no centralization or control. In that manner, don't have any expectation of profits from the work of others. This is simply, the next step in sustainability with better and more advanced code that again adds the guardrails to the ecosystem. That analogy I said at the very beginning of the AMA. For the same reason you want to have guardrails so you don't go off the edge of a cliff. We're developing those into the code itself. So, all right, let me give a few more updates and then we're going to wrap it up, and specifically with L1X. So we are in the final hours. Only 29 hours remaining for the L1X presale. We're getting close to $2 million in total deposits, which is unbelievable. Let's bring it home. If we can hit that 2.5 by the time we're done, that would be amazing, or higher. again, I know a lot of whales have been waiting to the very end, just because of opportunity cost. But and then one last time, we're going to go through all the basic knowledge of L1X and why it's so revolutionary. So, not to go again too much into the weeds, but the overall idea is L1X is truly solving interoperability. And so, again, that is unbelievable in terms of what has been uh, before now and what happens after now. They are the first that have done it, and they're the first that also has solved interoperability in terms of logic as well. So just again, there's 100 AMAs about L1X, but it is so revolutionary, and we will be launching the launch decks of the protocol. So that will be rewards going directly back into our ecosystem through Fusion as well. That was again one thing I mentioned in the Fusion presentation was all of the potential rewards that our DEX or our treasury is able to generate also goes through into Fusion to be rewarded out to all of you based on your ownership. So another reason why you want to get your ownership of the protocol as high as you can. But and then all of you that provide liquidity for that DEX will also be getting a share of the revenue from the DEX fees. So and it really, it solves interoperability, scalability, speed, and security. Again, interoperable meaning it can talk to all of the top 8 chains. Scalability meaning it has a ton of throughput and potential on again becoming widely adopted through microtransactions and many validators. The way they have their validators set up is also revolutionary. The speed, 100,000 transactions per second, and the security, again, of having all those validators. Any smart device can run a validator node, which is unheard of. So, and all of this is done with 1 cent transaction fees. So, not only is it superior technology, but it's also as cheap as humanly possible. So, all right, what else? If you guys haven't heard about L1X yet, please type it into Google, into YouTube. Type L1X into YouTube, and there's been a ton of amazing coverage that has come out even over the last few days that has been super, super bullish. So, all right, what else? So, again, just to give you an idea, the potential that we can see in L1X, normally a layer 1 or chain launches on average a 42x multiplier. So again, and that's based on launch price, not on actual, the pre-sale price. So you're getting in at the pre-sale price, which again is unheard of. So let's see. What else, LA? We have, if you want to get into the pre-sale, we still have our link up. I know we have been getting some phishing attacks or false reports. So you may get an error on that page, but feel free to just hit continue. Again, obviously we are all here and transparent, so you can get into L1X. There is no minimum as well. I see some super chats here, so thank you for those of you that are doing super chats. So if you put in, I'm assuming you're asking if you get $1,000 into L1X, you're getting in at the 10-cent price. So you'll be getting your tokens over a 15-month period. So you get 1/15 of your overall token allocation once a month for 15 months. So again, you would just times 0.1 times $1,000, and that's what you get. So what is that? 10,000 L1X, I think. Again, and you only get 1/15 of that every month. But we could see even if L1X got to about $1.50, even in the first month, that would be a 100% ROI on your initial investment just in that first month. But we'll have a lot more upside potential than that too. So go ahead, LA.
This was something I wanted to clarify tonight. There was a little bit of confusion over the vesting and what it meant. So in regards to just if it's based on dollar amount or token amount. So just to make it super easy, say for example, you bought 15,000 tokens, you would get 1,000 tokens per month. It's not based on what the price of the tokens is 3 months in or anything like that. It's the number of tokens that you bought, and 1/15 of them will go to you every month for 15 months once the platform launches.
Perfect. Yep. Great. Perfectly said, LA. Again, I know there is some confusion. I don't know. I've never ever heard of a pre-sale that did it based on the time of the market. So apologies for us not clarifying that sooner. But yeah, that would not be a pre-sale I would want to get involved in. But
It's
again,
just that sometimes when we do the example, we say it in dollar amounts, and then sometimes people get confused. So I just wanted to say it
totally.
really basically like that, just so we can make sure everyone understands.
No, wonderful. Thank you, LA. Again, always doing a great job in listening to community feedback and really getting the right answers out there. So, yes, 100%. All right, so just to recap on what I was saying, the vesting schedule, like LA said, is 15 months. There is no minimum. I'm sorry, there's $100 minimum for each transaction. So, you know, if you're wanting to do $50 and then $50 in a few more hours. Again, we're at the end anyway, so it doesn't really apply. If you were trying to do it over multiple days, it would have had to have been $100 at once. Um, However, if you do deposit 100K, I'm sorry, yeah, well, that would be nice. If you do deposit $1,000, you get access to the premium wallet that L1X will be launching. So they are developing their own wallet. MetaMask will be backwards compatible, but you will want to have this new L1X wallet because there's a lot more functionality built in that MetaMask just can't even provide in terms of the interoperability. So you will be getting that on launch or whenever it's live. Again, they're shooting for having it available the day the chain goes live. So you'll be the first to have it there. And you get entered into a potential drawing for some L1X tokens, up to 100,000 L1X tokens, as well as some NFTs giveaway, especially the first round, which was the NFT that commemorates the first EVM to non-EVM transfer. So a lot of benefit to having that $1,000 investment into L1X, and you will get your tokens. Again, that vesting schedule starts the day the chain goes live. So it may be August, it may be a little sooner, it may be a little later, but we're talking potential, months of delay, not years of delay. But really, L1X is on schedule. We're in talks with them pretty much on a daily basis, building out the exchange, and they are actually ahead of schedule. So the only reason they're saying August is more so for market conditions, not necessarily because of code. So really exciting, again, to hear that it's almost done as well. So again, not only are we bullish on L1X, but the DEX itself will bring, a ton of volume and potential revenue back to EMP. So we're a lot covered today. I'm almost out of breath, my voice. But LA, please, there
Yeah.
was a few things you were going to add, right? Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. So let's talk about like actually physically purchasing. There's been a few things that have been just causing slight issues for people. So when you go onto the site, if it's your first time buying, you're going to have to do an approval. This seems to be the step that's causing all the issues for some reason. So two things to keep in mind. First thing, if your MetaMask has a setting called experimental, you're going to want to make sure that is turned off. There's a little toggle, you can turn it on and off, make sure it's turned off. Second thing, when the transaction is popping up on MetaMask for the approval part, you're going to want to choose the default spending cap. You're not going to want to manually type in a spending cap. You're going to want to press the default button. And if the default doesn't work, you can try hitting the max as well. That may work as well. But typically, we've been suggesting hitting the default button, and that has been solving 99.9% of people's issues. If they press that, the approval goes through. A third thing that sometimes happens is someone will do the approval will go through, but then they think that that's the actual deposit going through, but there's a second transaction that you have to make to actually do the deposit. So once the approval's gone through, the approve button gets replaced with the deposit button, and that's when you actually have to make your deposit. So there's two transactions involved in doing this deposit, one for the approval, one for the deposit. Once you make your deposit, in the top right section of the page, you'll see something that says My Wallet. You can press it, and if the transaction went through successfully, there will be a history, and it will show a history of all the different transactions that you've made since the beginning of the pre-sale. Whether you did it once or multiple times, they'll all be there for that particular wallet that's connected. The only other thing that I can think of that I think AJ already mentioned, but I'll just mention it again, when you visit the L1xpresale.com website, a lot of people are still getting the red warning that says, I don't know exactly what it says, but it's a warning from MetaMask. We did receive a someone reported it falsely. We are still working with MetaMask to get it taken down, but they're obviously not working as quickly as we'd like them to, and the pre-sale's ending tomorrow. So we have checked everything out thoroughly. There actually is no issue, and the site is 100% safe. So even if that pops up for you, you are safe and clear to go ahead to the pre-sale site, do your thing. We have made sure the developers have checked everything extensively, and there is no safety issue there whatsoever.
Absolutely. Sorry, LA, I was muted. So yeah, again, unfortunately, in the crypto space, people get mad when you raise a bunch of money, and they report things, falsely. And again, we absolutely want to protect all of our potential participants. But I'm doxxed again. There's nothing malicious you can see on chain. We've already made payments to L1X on the first few rounds of money coming in. I mean, there's nothing fishy going on. Unfortunately, it has been an issue with that pop-up, but I think a lot of you have already gotten into the pre-sale, which is great. But if you haven't, now is the last chance. So this is the last AMA, and I guarantee that the minute the pre-sale is over, we're going to get emails and messages that say, hey, how do I get into the L1X pre-sale? Well, unfortunately, it would be too late for you. So, again, please understand this opportunity is unheard of. We've been talking about it for over a month now. We've extended the pre-sale once already. It will not be extended again. And I've been in crypto a long time, and again, I can count on one hand the opportunities that have been presented like this in a new layer one launching. So, and not only that, but a revolutionary layer one. And then one last bit of info before we wrap it up here. I just want to kind of dumb it down a little bit, and I don't mean that derogatory. I mean simplify things. The only way to get exposure to the decks that we're building on L1X is through EMP, other than providing liquidity on that deck. So that is just again, I think people are sleeping a little bit. Not only is Fusion incredibly bullish, but those could be literally tens of thousands of dollars a day that we're bringing back home to the EMP ecosystem. And that will go towards, again, supporting PEG, but with Fusion, we're going to be at PEG, so we're going to have to even apply it to that. So then it can go to supporting the price of ESHARE or supporting the price of, the detonator pools, which is pure cash injection. So there's so many ways, or that just goes directly into Fusion and is literally rewarded to all of you as dividend. Again, there's so many ways to profit in the ecosystem, and the DEX will be the heartbeat of that new real revenue coming home to EMP. So again, after the pre-sale, we'll have a white paper on the DEX for those of you that want to know the name and how to get involved and how to provide liquidity. All of that will be coming. We're even, again, if you missed, we had a Twitter space with Jake from Dex Finance. That one was recorded, right, LA?
Yep.
All right, so
And I was
go,
just
yeah.
gonna say, like, now everyone understands why we've been so damn hyped up to promote both Fusion and L1X, because L1X and our DEX will feed into EMP, and all of you who have been such loyal participants and like such vital members of our community and have been long-term thinkers and such great supporters who have invested in your investment. Now that we have this ecosystem built and designed to reward people like you, this DEX feeding into EMP is exactly what we want to see happen. And that's why we've been so incredibly enthused to promote L1X for the last month, not only because it's just so revolutionary and, individually as investors investing in it potentially stands to earn us all a lot of money, and it's going to change crypto as a whole in the way that we do things and make things a lot easier for all of us and more streamlined and all of those amazing benefits, but also just because it's going to help EMP become even better. So it's quite amazing.
100%. Again, that FOMO is kicking in, LA. And we're part of the team. I swear to God, it's funny. Oh man, the project lead gets FOMO into the project. You know that is bullish for sure. So
if you ever wonder what it's like when me and AJ have team meetings, we just basically do that to each other over and over again. We hype each other up, and then we work on different pieces to put out, and then we come on these calls and share it with all of you. And that's why we always end up so excited on Mondays and Thursdays.
Totally. Yes, I couldn't agree more. So, all right, awesome. Well, again, I know we went a little bit long. We've been trying to keep these to about an hour, but too much bullish information that we had to go a little long. But I think we did a great job recapping everything that's happening. Again, we can't really answer all the questions. So if there was a question that we didn't get to, it's not because we're, ignoring it or we can't answer it or we haven't thought about it. It's just because we really don't want to address it quite yet until all the right puzzle pieces are on the table. So, but overall, I think the sentiment has been amazing. EMPs again continuing to go up, ESHARE continuing to go up, PEG looking good, and we're hoping for a gradual increase again over the next few weeks. And once Fusion is live, we should be seeing, again, not if we recover PEG, but when we recover PEG. So, all right.
Yeah.
I appreciate all of you. Yeah, go ahead, Elliot. Yeah.
One thing I want to say is right after the AMA, I am going to post this graphic with a little post. Inevitably, I'm sure our groups are going to blow up with a million questions. That being said, although we are normally just incredible at answering questions immediately when they're asked in our groups, we are going to start trying to field most of the Fusion-based questions for Mondays and Thursdays on the AMAs. And in between, we're most likely going to send out the links to the previous day's AMA as a source for information to answer those questions, as opposed to individually tackling them one-on-one.
because we want to encourage people to attend these AMAs, get the questions that we can answered directly by AJ, Cody, myself. And there's a lot of them that are going to be asked in the group that we're just not quite ready to answer yet. So if you do ask something in the group that doesn't get answered, please just join us on the following day's AMA on the Monday or Thursday, and we'll try our best to get it answered for you.
Absolutely. All right. Well said, LA. Again, thank you all for attending. It was a bit of a long one today, but I think all of you are finally seeing this come to life. And, we wanted to make sure that we got at least something out to all of you before the end of Q1. Fusion will be here up and operating 100% within Q2. So, again, we're just not ready to give an exact date and time. But we are very, very close. So stay tuned for all that. As we continue to build here at EMP, things are only going to get more and more exciting around here with all that we have coming. So remember to comment, like, and subscribe to our channel. Again, thanks to those that sent a super chat too today. All the revenue, both super chats and ad revenue, will be going to supporting the EMP protocol. So it's another revenue stream for EMP and Fusion now coming. So all right, and we do these Mondays and Thursdays at 6:45 p.m. Eastern, twice a week AMAs, where you get all the juicy alpha that your hearts could desire. So, all right, we will be back on Monday. Again, everybody have an amazing weekend, and we'll be dropping a little more Easter eggs over the weekend as we go. There may be some questions that we can answer in the chat that we didn't go over today, but nothing, that would be an unfair advantage. So just make sure you stay involved in all of our socials and invest in your investment here at EMP, keeping up to date and learning all that you can about what we have coming. So, all right, good night, good day. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm sorry, we'll see you Monday. Bye, everybody.